Welcome to Metagame, the gaming and media podcast from Spawn Camp Council, the six-man think tank that takes content to the highest tier of excellence. Tonight, we're giving you the hottest information on the latest games, so boot up, log in, and enjoy the show. This week, Star Wars moves movies to the Old Republic, System Shock 3, ray tracing for all, love, death, and robots. But we aren't talking about any of that crap tonight, guys. Tonight, I'm your host, Adam12, with our co-hosts, Poop Shizzle, King Dawes, and the man so red that even our souls aren't safe, Sectator. Solid Scorpion Z cannot be with us tonight because reasons. King Dawes, what do you have for us?
First, hello, boys. Welcome back. Feels like it's been forever. Adam, it has been forever since you've been here.
It has, yes.
Been a hot minute. Just wanted to go over a couple things real quick that have been interesting to me in the gaming industry. First was, I think a couple podcasts ago, we mentioned Critical Role, the D&D group with Matt Mercer as the DM, started a Kickstarter, crowdfunding to fund their Vox Machina animated series. They just wanted to do one episode. It was the original goal was $750,000. That gave them 22 minutes of animation time. So that's been going on for probably 15 days, 16 days now. And they actually are up to $7.7 million, which is an unreal amount. So unreal that it actually broke the previous record held by a movie/TV production by over $1 million. So they are number one in that aspect. They also have cracked the top 10 for most funded campaigns in Kickstarter history. So insane. They're doing, I believe, 10 episodes of the Vox Machina now. They're also doing the Briarwood storyline, which is one of their first campaigns. So huge success for them. It's awesome to see the D&D community kind of rally around that group. And they definitely want to see a lot of content coming out of there. So that's not coming out until 20. Go ahead.
What was their original goal?
750,000. So they have multiplied that by 10, which is booming success.
And they wanted just one episode, right?
What's that?
They were going to do 750,000 for one episode, right?
Yeah, I said that, but I will repeat myself. Yes.
that was me checking for clarification. So
you are correct.
They could probably get a season out of this, man.
They're doing a full season. I think they said 10 episodes was what they're going to do for that line. They're also doing a full, they called it a Briarwood line, which is another campaign they did. They're also doing a couple one-shots that are from that campaign as well. So crazy how much support that project has gotten. So pretty cool to see. I know our D&D sessions have been going really well. I just DM'd our last session, which was super fun for me. Adam got to play, which is his first time playing in a while. So we had a good time with that, and the D&D community is alive and well and definitely thriving.
Coming back
strong. No more devil worshipping. Just good, wholesome family fun.
Church mothers in the 90s tried to kill it.
Yeah.
Do we have to officially get rid of the devil worship?
No, actually, funny you say that. So the devil worshipping aspect of D&D, that was the whole kind of satanic panic back in the 80s. And that's the whole reason why D&D kind of went underground and only the nerds and the crazy folks played D&D. And now you see, mainstream actors and comedians and celebrities playing D&D. And this is giving the kind of traction that D&D needs to kind of come back into the limelight and allow it to be seen as something that's not this whole satanic cult of people in their basements summoning devils and stuff. So I think everybody here has played it. Poop, maybe not so much, but we're not crazy devil people. We enjoy it. Well, Sectator doesn't have a soul, but other than that,
yeah, there it is. I remember that. Just to get off on a rant here, the first Toy Story guy. What's his name? The actor.
Buzz Lightyear.
No, the other one. Not Tim Allen. Yeah, the Woody guy. Tom Hanks. Thank you so much. The first Tom Hanks movie I ever saw was called Mazes and Monsters. It was like a made-for-TV movie, and it was all about that. Like, it was a D&D movie. It was a PSA for staying away from these crazy kids because they went into a cave and shit happened and like traumatize these kids forever. Right. So don't play D&D.
Right.
I think my dad was telling me he played it back when it first came out. We were talking about like it was like amazing. It was like Destiny 2 launching back then. Like this book came
Mhm.
out in the comic book stores, all that stuff, and he was saying it was really bad, like something stupid. Like one group, the DM had a kid jump off like a 3-story roof, and he just so happened to be a warlock to unlock the strongest sword in the game, and like the news got a hold of it, and that's what started all of these rumors and
Oh, really?
stuff like that about it. He's like, it was so annoying because his parents kept coming down and asking him like,
What are you doing, Billy?
anybody jumping off the roof in here? Like,
That reminds me, for our campaign now, I need to create a monster called Momo.
you gotta trigger
Well,
Titan Creek.
we will make frontline news here pretty soon. So yes, D&D has been going strong. It's awesome to see. We're all a great part of it. I'd like to see it expand even further. So on to another topic. Oh, wait, before I move, our last question, what would DM do? So last week I asked if you could cast polymorph on your unconscious party member. A horde was coming down the road and you wanted to disguise him. He was unconscious. Can you cast polymorph? Answer is no, you can't. He is not willing. You did not get consent. You cannot cast polymorph on him. So I think who said that? I think Sectator maybe said no. Poop said yes.
I said
no consent for him.
Remember what
I don't remember.
I definitely said no.
So the answer is no. No polymorphing. Yeah. So pretty cool. Keep that in mind for your campaigns. The next question I wanted to ask and pose to you guys, see what your thoughts was the spell counter spell. What that does is if an enemy casts a spell at you, your wizard in the group can cast counter spell, deflects the spell, saves your butt. So my question to you is, can you counterspell a counterspell? That being, Adam casts a ray of frost onto Poop. Sectator, who is Poop's ally, casts counterspell to deflect it back. I, being Adam's ally, cast counterspell on the counterspell, and we basically play ping pong with that spell until someone runs out of counterspells. Is that a viable strategy?
Who wants to go first? Poop?
Yeah, let's get the best answer first.
Sure. I mean, I don't know. There's probably some small thing written somewhere in the nerd book that says that you can't counterspell a counterspell, but I guess yes, because it's still a spell. You're just whoever, like you said, whoever runs out of it first, I guess would probably. I'd say yes.
Excellent.
Sectator?
So I know I'm always labeled the douchebag DM in the group. I would also allow it, but for the reason of why not let the whole party steal their spell slots or use their spell slots? I mean, you're not even on the boss fight. You're casting Speak to Animals on an owl that speaks common. Why not? Like, just let it go.
We've never seen that happen before.
No, there's no.
And Adam, your opinion?
No, hell no.
You cannot play ping pong with a spell.
No, because I mean, you got to get into the rules of like action, reaction at some point. I mean, I can't just cast a spell as my action, have you react to it with counterspell, if that's even possible. I don't know how that would happen. Maybe a class feature or something, and then I can come back and have another action because technically it's my turn. So no, that's not going to happen in my world.
That's a negative in campaign for Adam. Don't even try
A
it.
hella neg. Yeah, do not.
Cool. So next week we'll have the answer. Sorry, 2 weeks from now we will have the answer. One of you is right. One of you is wrong. Notice. So we will see. We'll see who is correct here. Another thing I wanted to cover real quick was Apex. You guys know about Apex Legends. Cool game that came out of nowhere. Racked up a bunch of views when it originally came out. Has kind of taken a little bit of a dip lately. I think maybe Sectator wanted to say something on that, but it's interesting to see the Twitch numbers, how they ebb and flow, and who gets the coverage from what. They just came out with a first season update. The original Apex launched as, I guess they labeled it not as a beta, but as like a just introductory. That's where all your heroes came out originally, and all the weapons. This is the first season that came out with a new battle pass, with a new character, Octane. That's what I kind of want to cover here is the new character. He's very interesting to me because it's the first new character we've had in the game. His abilities, he actually uses one which is called Swift Mend. That's his passive ability. And as he's going throughout the map, not taking damage, he actually heals himself over time. Spectator heard some insider information that it was a little bit stronger of an ability when the game was originally in beta in November. It was nerfed down a little bit, but it's still a pretty impressive ability. He's the only character in the game that can heal himself without any abilities besides Lifeline. She can use her ability to heal herself, and then everybody else can use items, but he is a passive, so you don't even have to think about it. It's healing yourself. His other ability is called Stim, and it costs 10% of his health, but it increases mobility by 30% for 6 seconds. And in a FPS shooter, mobility is key. He's already pretty fast character. I think they all run at the same speed, but just the way his hitbox is made, it seems like he's going really fast, but he's actually the only character that you can get a speed boost besides, what's her name? With the smoke bombs. Bangalore. She gets a little bit of a speed boost when she gets damaged.
Bloodhound's ult also gives him speed boost.
His ult, yeah. So his is actually just a regular ability. It's something you could use quite frequently. And so he's running around the map getting a bunch of kills. I think a lot of streamers that I've been watching, Doc and Shroud, have been really enjoying him. And so that's a cool character there. His ultimate is a launch pad. He throws down a little pad that you can jump off of. Some funny trolling moments in that. Someone's in a chest getting all the loot. They're in a menu. You can actually throw it down at their feet and launch them up into the air. So pretty funny trolling moments. It's fun. So that's Apex. What are you guys' thoughts on Apex? Have you played it recently? Have you seen anything that you like?
I came back to gaming for the first time in a month.
Yeah.
Yesterday. I played some Division 2 and I played a lot of Apex.
Mm-hmm.
Still like the game. I like the new characters. It's still a fun game to play. I like it. I know that's probably not top tier anymore, but it's enjoyable. Yeah,
it's been slipping in the Twitch rankings.
Yeah,
they passed 25 million players.
Oh,
is that so? How's that compare to your favorite game in the world, Fortnite?
You guess. It's hard to explain because Fortnite didn't launch the way Apex did, right? Apex launched full BR. I think Poop pointed out a couple podcasts ago. Fortnite launched with a single player mode, and then they brought out multiplayer. I'd say it's still a little bit further behind. I could pull up the numbers here in a second, but it's probably 5 to 7 million followers or players behind where Fortnite was. But I'm impressed with Apex personally. I'm playing it more on the Xbox just because that's where my circle plays it. I think once they do a couple things, like there's people like, I think Adam, you and I were talking about this, that play on computer and console because we have friends on both. Right now they're not linked. So like if I bought the season pass on Xbox, I'd have to buy another season pass on my computer. That kind of sucks. There's stuff that's going on. There's glitches. There's hacking. But I'm impressed with Apex. I play it quite a bit. It's fun. Games are short. They're doing a lot of cool stuff with the cosmetics, and I'm enjoying it.
As far as the hacking goes, is that more PC based or is that everywhere?
It's kind of both a little bit. So Shot actually, I was watching his stream highlights, and he pointed out that every game he plays in, he's coming across somebody using aimbot. But he is playing on PC, so it's kind of hard to get stuff like that on the console. Yeah. Just because separate servers, stuff like that. But I know Shad was pointing out that Fortnite does a much better job at monitoring hackers than Apex is doing. And it's kind of costing, in my opinion, a lot of players, if you read the Reddits, to kind of move away from Apex till they fix it. But it has taken Fortnite. It did take Fortnite 4 to 5 months to fix the hacking problem. They used it. They were trying to do it in-house, and then they switched to a third party. Apex is using the same anti-cheat software that Fortnite uses. So maybe it just needs to continue to get fine-tuned a little bit. You're still talking about a game that launched less than a month ago.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. And PUBG took way longer than that to get the hacking stopped.
PUBG still doesn't have it
still going on.
I spawned into a game randomly last week, and I got shot through a wall with a sniper rifle from like 500 meters away. I was like, yeah, this is why I uninstalled this game. Okay.
This is PUBG. All right.
So how are they doing on the Twitch numbers, Apex?
Yeah, so I think it's interesting because I'm going to preface before saying the numbers. We had predicted that Apex's failing and succeeding is going to be based off the streamer. I think we unanimously agreed on that. Last week, Shroud got into an accident, so he wasn't streaming. Ninja, with the new season pass, went back to Fortnite, so he's streaming Fortnite. With the launch of Division 2 and all that stuff, the Twitch Blade had them ranked last week at 3 or 4, I can't remember, for average viewers at a time. So a little bit further of a drop, but as we kind of predicted ourselves, they need to really embrace that streamer mentality.
Yeah.
And with the season pass yesterday, it wasn't even close. They were number 1 by a long shot. So I think if they can continue to get really good affiliation program like Fortnite does, stuff like that, you'll see Apex continue to rise.
And as far as like those numbers, are they as viable as they used to be with Twitch versus Mixer now? Do you think Mixer needs to be added in the demographics some way?
I would like to see Mixer added in, but I don't know if it would even put a dent in it. So concurrent viewers at peak hours on Mixer had 10,000 people watching Apex being played. That was the highest peak for on Twitch. It was well over 120,000. So
Wow.
I think where Mixer comes into play is they've got more people incentivized to stream smaller games. So they're not, you're not going to see 300,000-400,000 people watching a single game, because there's a lot of people doing speed runs and there's a lot of people playing old Xbox exclusives that have 800-900 viewers, whereas Apex has 145,000 people watching Shroud play on Twitch with a cast on. So
Gotcha. All right, let's take that into the shit show portion. Not that that was leading into it in any way, but I need to talk about this. Destiny 2, new Drifter stuff. I played the other day. It's terrible. The season of the Drifter is not fun. They've changed Gambit Prime, or added Gambit Prime, and made some of the Gambit stuff a little different.
Yep.
I'm not really enjoying it. It sounded really good on paper. The trailers all look nice. Playing it, not so much. I don't think Destiny's in a good place right now.
The problem I've seen with Destiny so far is that they're hitting these one-note expansions. Like when Season of the Drifter came out, Gambit Prime was the big focus. The Reckoning came out, which is a higher-end PvE content, and that was a weekly drop. Reckoning Level 1 came out first week, 2, 3, and subsequent weeks. And your big streamers like the Redeems and Glad and even King Gathalion, who have been big supporters of Destiny since day one, they burned through the content within the first day of each week. And people have been saying, is this really all we're getting out of the whole season? And when you look at the roadmap for Destiny Season of the Drifter, there's not a whole lot further in the season. There's an arc week that's coming out, which is an ability modifier week. Thorn came out, which was a big exotic that was from D1, came to D2. That held 10 people's attention for the first day, but now everyone has it that's going to have it. If not, they'll slowly, shrug through it. But Destiny's kind of in a spot where it's like been there, done that. I mean, they're recycling exotics. They're using current or previous game assets and just bringing up the power levels. So I think until Destiny and Bungie themselves gets the full freedom from Activision and they kind of pump the brakes and go back to what made Destiny 1 so fun and so, exhilarating. And every week, we all kind of met. I think Adam and I met on Destiny through Dads of Destiny. And, I would log in every Tuesday for Destiny, do the reset stuff. I'd be in there every Friday waiting for Zer to come by and drop something that we'd want to buy. And I remember playing Destiny every day, having something to do. But now I barely touched the new content. It's just not interesting to me. There's new Pinnacle rewards out for PvP, PvE. There's 3 new weapons that you can get. And I haven't really even had any interest in grabbing them.
Yeah.
I think that's the big issue there is it feels like a job. There's nothing there that makes it feel exciting or fun. I logged in once that Tuesday that it dropped, and I looked at the director, and I was like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this, and it feels like work.
Yeah,
and I hate to say that because I have the same memories of Destiny 1 and early Forsaken as well. It was just it was a lot of fun. What was exciting, what was new, and now it's just all right. There's a stick with a carrot. I guess I'll go for the carrot. And it's not that exciting anymore. They haven't found a way to make the replay loop exciting and new. It's too old.
I mean, the guys at Bungie are not stupid, and they've been with Activision for a while. Do you think that Bungie's taking a shit on the game?
I said, I think when we were talking about the Activision split that they just need to can Destiny 2 and let them remake Destiny 3 in their image. And
Yep.
this is kind of what I was referencing. Activision is all microtransactions, bleed them dry, take one season of content, space it out over a year, and charge them for it to make a profit. I think this is what happens. You get disengaged community not propping up mediocre game design. You get your recycling. MMO in a nutshell is recycling content. I mean, I can't tell you how many times World of Warcraft have used the exact same character models, but what's interesting about it is there's so much to do. There's so many different raids. Every 9 weeks there's a new raid to do. Every season, every 4 or 5, 6 weeks there's a new PvP season. There's always something to do. And Activision wanted to charge you for all of that. And I think they just need to cut their losses where it's at. And come out with Destiny 3. I mean, I have no motivation to play Destiny 2 right now.
Right.
Not my question though. I mean, that's a different thing. I'm asking, do you think that Bungie is actively taking a shit on the game so that they can kill the Activision end of it and then start over?
No. I think this is it takes 4 to 6 months to develop something, so you're still seeing the remnants of Activision.
Right. And they wouldn't want to lose any kind of traction or momentum they have going into maybe a Destiny 3 launch. If your game's tanking at the end of Destiny 2, how hyped are people going to be for Destiny 3? It's going to put a sour taste in their mouth, and then.
But that's what's actually happening, right?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, I don't think that it would be smart for Bungie to shit on their game. I mean, ultimately, this is their game. That would be a very poor business model. Now, the thing is, they do want to get out from the tainted waters that they shared with Activision, but they still have to finish their contract. They are still under contract until the end of September, and they have to. So for them to do that, they would probably still violate whatever existing contracts they have.
I mean, it's the Prince thing, right? Like Prince Rogers Nelson, he came in and he like changed his name to Assemble, and he fucking shit out 3 albums to get out of his contract with I think Sony, and walked away. Like started his own label, got his name back. Hey, I'm new again. I mean, it is doable. I'm not saying that I understand. Like,
I don't know if
ruining your game, but
that's one person. That's a band. That's one person. This is like a company with hundreds of people that they have to keep the lights turned on. They have to keep paychecks going out. They have to cross those T's and dot those I's. They can't just willy-nilly do that. An artist like that is more inclined to do it because they're more spontaneous. They're more irrational. But this is a company with shareholders and all sorts of shit. I mean, they got to be careful.
They're weathering the storm. They're buttoning up their coats. They forgot their umbrella in the car. They're like, we gotta get through September, and they're just jumping out in the rainstorm, and they're weathering the storm. They're going through it. They're letting everything happen that needs to happen, and they understand the position they're in. I think they're gonna learn from it. They're gonna come out with some amazing content. I love Bungie. I have nothing but faith in what they'll do. But right now, they just kind of like Poop said, they're stuck. They gotta do it.
They stubbed their toe in this. Is that so? They just made bad content. They put it out there, and they said, "Well, we fucked up," or they're just trying to hype it to say that it's great.
To me, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not engaging. I mean, if I were to jump into it, but no, well, that's a matter of opinion because there's people out there that could enjoy it. It's not bad content. It's just not. It's not drawing me in.
Right.
And that's like saying all rap is bad because I don't listen to rap. I'm just not interested in rap. Therefore, it doesn't mean it's bad. It's not what I want to do.
Well, I mean, okay, yeah, I mean, I hear you with that. Not to argue with you. I just want to put it back out there. What King Dawes just said is that they've reframed. They're putting lipstick on a pig here with Thorn, with the last word. They're redoing content. They're just reframing it, and then then it's just like that's not people trying to make a good game to me.
Yeah, I think that plays more back. I think that plays more back to what Spectator said is the drip feeding content. Is they're expecting one gun to last a month and a half worth of chasing or gameplay. That's the issue is they have so much content and they stretch it out so thin that it's super skinny, super just not engaging enough. There's not enough meat there for the players to jump in.
I think that's also them trying to harken back to those nostalgic feelings of everyone remembers their quest to get Thorn in D1 and now you can do it again, and it just doesn't have the same feeling round 2 that it did back then. And
I think if they were smart, what they would do is they would open it up to the mod community. they would allow custom matches through the mod community, and then they would do like a Cade spin-off solo mission DLC, and then they would let September come and just wreck it in September.
That's a double-edged sword, though.
Yeah.
That's a can of worms.
I mean, I think it
Don't
would be
necessarily
awesome.
want.
Well, Bungie loves their story too much. They don't want to let it go.
Yeah,
They don't want. They don't want to let people. It's like, opening up the door and letting people in your house when you really don't want them. And then also if you give them that much leeway with code and programming stuff, you're opening some other issues too. So I mean, yes, it would be fun, and I'd like to see what the community has.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's a double-edged sword.
It makes me feel badly that the greatest minds there produce this crappy content. What I feel is crappy content.
Sure.
And now that we're at the bottom and hanging out in the basement here, Poop Shizzle off the cuff here, off the cuff? I'm not sure.
Both work.
Out of the blue, how you feeling about Anthem right now?
Ooh.
Oh my God, he haymakered me. I am more bored with Anthem than I am with Destiny. And again, it comes back to the replay loop. If you want to get people to grind these games, you have to get them to do the same damn thing over and over again, but paint the picture so they don't notice that they're doing the same thing over and over again. That's how you get people to grind these games. Anthem is literally a hamster wheel. And you see it, there's nothing about it. You see the cage, you see the shavings on the ground, you see the wheel, and you're running your ass off, and you're getting very, very little water in return. And it's a damn shame, because I like BioWare. I like the premise of the game. I hate how they've implemented it. Flying around is fucking badass. I love that shit. Shooting is pretty good. The AI are fucking idiots. The loot table has been demolished, and the game has about 3 different things that you do. You stand here, you shoot, you go find something, you pick it up, or you shoot a big thing. That's it.
From what I saw was that even on, and I haven't played Anthem yet, just the beta, but so Grandmaster 1 is the first enhanced difficulty level. And from what I've seen and what a lot of streamers I've seen on Twitch and Twitter and everything, what they've said is Grandmaster 1 gives just about the same level of rewards as Grandmaster 3, but the Grandmaster 3 difficulty is such a high ratchet, and not necessarily difficulty, but in like boss health and bullet sponginess, that it's not even worth it. A mission that takes 20 minutes on Grandmaster 1 takes 2 hours on Grandmaster 3. And these people that grind the game, of course, they're always going to go for the path of least resistance to get this loot. And if you're just going to frustrate everyone with a 2-hour mission to give them a marginally better reward than something that takes 20 minutes, who's going to do that? Nobody that's serious about the game. And even the serious ones about the game, like Glad, who's a big Destiny streamer, he actually got a temp ban for farming too frequently on these chests that are in the open world. It's there. You put it in the game, but because he was farming too much, they gave him a temp ban.
Actually, I'm not trying to prove you wrong. There were 3 different things that he did in the time frame that he was. It was the alt spam that actually, because he did a rebuttal video on it, and he said that he read the email and he said it was because it was an abuse of in-game. Mechanics. But the thing is, his whole point is, if it's in the game, why are you punishing me? Fix your shit. It was his point. And so I believe that's from what I got from the video, was the ultimate spam was what and he said he did it like a couple times, and he's like, this doesn't do anything. This doesn't help me gain loot faster.
Right.
And he went back to his chest routes. But yeah, the GM levels, the Grandmasters 1, 2, 3, the loot table has been kind of skewed a little bit in the last couple weeks. At the beginning, people found out early on that Grandmaster 1 was the best way to go, and then you would go out and you would farm and yada yada yada, and you'd get these exotics and these legendaries and whatnot. They're not called exotics, but legendaries and masterworks. And then they changed that because the drop rate was too high. And then what that did was that made everybody have to go to Grandmaster 2 and 3, where it's banging your head against the wall, exposes the hamster wheel even more. Nobody wants to do that, and now everybody's bitching about it. So now they're trying to backpedal and get more loot out there for the Grandmaster 1s, and I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, they are in a severe emergency right now with the game. They have to do something because it's on the edge of it's on a precipice, and it will be pushed over if it's not done well.
I read an interesting article from I think it was Metro.uk. It was like, not only did Destiny 2 kill Destiny, it also killed Anthem. And I think the point behind the article was interesting. BioWare started working on this game in 2012. So 7 years in development. Destiny has launched 2 games since then. They've developed and launched. So why fans are frustrated is, in 7 years you've got literally nothing but beautiful graphics and to show for it. The gameplay is gone. It's not there. People aren't satisfied with what they're getting, and it's because they hint that the genre's dying. If this game would have launched 4 years ago, it would be amazing, but because it's played out, MMOs in general are dying. If you look at the numbers of subscriber counts on MMOs, so the fact that they're wasting all this time doing this money, doing these games that have 300 hours of gameplay and all this stuff, that in itself, in today's short attention span of gamers who want battle royale matches that are 10 minutes long, is what's killing Anthem. And the fact that BioWare seems to have no pivot point to catch up and to adapt their storyline or some of their loot tables or anything like that, and they're banning the people that want to play the game, is what's going on with Anthem. And that's why I think people are jumping into Division 2 so quickly, because they want an MMO, first-person shooter, third-person shooter, whatever, that has substance, and Division 2 is fun.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
It was an interesting article.
Yeah, it was the Twitter thing. I think it was like Anthem complaining about, we fixed the loot.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, and bunch of
Bungie
replies,
responds.
like, first day.
Right. The tweet was that they're complaining, you want more loot, we gave you more loot, you grind through the content too fast, and then it was just Bungie's like, yeah, first day,
huh?
And Bungie's been dealing with this now for how many years? Since 2014.
Yeah.
So
It's fantastic. Those are the best we have seen all year. All right, Poop Shizzle, out of the gutter, out of the basement, bring us up to Google.
Right now, this week, Monday through Friday, is the GDC, which is the Game Developers Conference. It's held in San Francisco, and a lot of interesting things come out of it. I could cover a lot of different areas about it, but one of the biggest things that dropped was yesterday when Google had their keynote. To kind of paint the picture, if you're not familiar with the Game Developers Conference, it's basically where a lot of game developers and creators of games and people that code and all that thing, they go and they interact with a bunch of different people and companies to try to find a best way to deliver games and design games and get them out there, for everybody to have fun and make money. So Google is a huge company. Many of you guys out there probably know what I'm talking about with regards to Gmail and search engines and all their algorithms and all sorts of stuff, search engine optimizations, all that stuff. Well, they are now deciding to put their toe into the gaming world. And what they're doing is they're launching it's a platform called Stadia. And Stadia is basically a overlay to YouTube. They're really piggybacking off YouTube here strongly. But they're actually jumping in with all of their force and 7,500 edge nodes locations, their entire fiber optics, subsea cables, all these things they're going to throw at the gaming world. I think that's interesting that they're putting a lot of their assets into this. Let me go ahead and run this down for you real quick. So when GDC, when they took the stage, the first thing they said was their vision is one place for all the ways that we play. And they focused on gamers, inspired by devs, and amplified by YouTube content creators. So basically what they're saying is they want to create a cloud-based platform, a gaming system or a gaming platform, whatever you want to call it, that is handled all at their data centers. Everything from your game that you're playing is streamed to your device, and all of the game servers are handled on their side, which in theory has a lot of potential with regards to low latency, making sure that you have the best connection possible. There's a lot there, and it's hard to break it down to specifics without getting super nerdy and technical. So when they opened up their press conference, they basically said you could be watching a YouTube video, and they showcased Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and there was a play now button on it. He clicked that button, and within 5 seconds, he was inside the game. It was handled in the web browser. And then what they did was they went and they had a table there with a display of different devices. Of course, these are all Google devices. So you had your Chromebooks, you had your Pixel phone, and then they went to PC, tablet, and TV. But basically, what they did was they said, "Here's a Google Chrome tablet or Google Chrome book, sitting there playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey on that." He stops what he's doing. He goes over to a Pixel phone, picks up right where he left off on Assassin's Creed, puts that down, goes over to a PC. And then they made the joke saying that they went out and bought this PC and they purposely bought something that was a little underperforming. And they picked it up and it picked up right where they left off, moved over to a tablet, played it on the tablet. And then finally they went to a TV that was connected with a Chromecast Ultra HDMI streamer. It's basically the Chromecast, the newest one that they have. And just played it right there on this television. And they used different controllers, they used different, keyboard, mouse, and all sorts, and then the touch screen on the phone. I am really impressed with how they did that. So if at any point you guys have any questions, please jump in here, because I have a lot of stuff that I'll just run through, but stop me if you want to ask any questions. So ultimately, every USB controller type is compatible. If it's a PlayStation 4, if it's an Xbox One, whatever, if it plugs in USB, you can use it on this as a appropriate device. But they also are including their own Stadia controller. The cool thing about this controller is that it connects Wi-Fi directly to the data center. It does not connect to your device. It connects to their device, which again decreases latency and lag, allows them to actually work with your controller and hopefully give you a better connection and playing experience. Included on this controller, there are two new buttons. It basically looks like an Xbox controller, by the way. The two new buttons are a capture button, which guess where it goes to when you hit the capture button?
Amazon.com.
YouTube.
YouTube is right.
Dang.
Hey, ding, ding, ding.
So you can stream it straight to YouTube, and it's lossless. If you can stream it at 4K 60 frames to your off the data center to your device, then you can also stream it to YouTube at the same level. And then there's also another button called the Google Assistant. There's a built-in microphone into the controller. If you hit this Google Assistant button, it'll actually act like what Siri is on iPhone or what Cortana is on your PC or your Xbox. Basically, you can interact with Alexa. I believe, is it Alexa? That's Google. Who's a Google one? Alexa's Amazon.
Yeah, it's Google Assistant.
I think it's Google Assistant.
Yeah, it's Google Assistant, but didn't they name it something?
It's OK Google is the.
Okay,
I don't know if it has a name.
It used to be
it's
Jarvis.
the same idea as OK Google. That's basically what they did. And you can go in there and you can ask, like, hey, I'm stuck on this level. Help me out. Or, what's this here? Can it bring up a collectibles map? I mean, it is basically a voice search engine, which is really cool. The other thing, my phone just activated because I said, okay, Google.
Oh.
All right. So the next thing
we're trying to give a biased approach here, guys. I'm sorry about that, but
are we? My bad. I'm sorry.
Quick question on the controller.
Okay, I can balance it out
go ahead.
quick.
Maybe you can answer that for me. So when I was watching the conference, I thought I heard something about like a proximity control with the controller that it'll, because it's connected through Wi-Fi in your home network, it'll sense whether you're standing in front of your TV with the controller, then moving into your office with your computer. Am I correct on that, or am I imagining that?
I think that's impossible.
It's whatever has the strongest signal.
Right. I thought that's what they were getting at, was that,
I don't remember really digging into that much and there's a lot of speculation anywhere from hardware specifications and all that stuff. So basically this was a dog and pony show, and everything else will be released later with the finer details.
Right.
To that specifically, I'm not 100% sure. I could see how they could utilize a home network to pinpoint your position.
Right.
And then they could actually connect you to the strongest device, say like you walk into the room with your PC. But at the end of the day, what is your viewing device? Are you watching it on TV? Then it shouldn't prioritize your PC just because you get somewhat close to it.
If my tablet's in front of me, but I'm playing on the TV, I'm fucked now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think more realistically. So think about when Xbox first launched the Kinect, how amazing it was supposed to be, how revolutionary the show was, right? I think more realistically, what you're going to see is you're going to have like 5 programmable devices on the remote, and you just switch to which one you're in front of. Because they did also mention that you could use any controller to control
Yes.
the devices.
Would
So
you-
there has to be some benefit to using their controller and spending $60 on their controller.
Oh,
And to
that's
be
a good
honest,
question.
the controller connects Wi-Fi to the gaming service, so it doesn't
Right.
matter what device you're on. It's
Right.
talking to the service. The device that you're on needs to be more, is what you're looking at. So that's more what they're worried about. The controller, I mean, I don't think that's going to be a big issue. So when I said it was built on their data network, I kind of jumped into some of those numbers about 7,500 edge nodes and locations around the globe. Basically, what they're trying to do is they're trying to get it as close to every gamer as possible, because obviously the closer you are to the server, the lower the ping and the better the performance you have in your game. They are boasting some serious graphics and processing power here. First of all, they are saying they're going to launch with 4K 60 frames per second
Nuts.
streaming. Now, I don't know if you guys are aware of file size of bits and bytes and how much data is actually transferred in 4K. It's insane. Also support with HDR and surround sound. So
All the
you're talking
megabits.
about the full, I mean, it's a lot
Any
of
technology that's
information.
out right now, it's using.
So the thing is, you got to be thinking about is the infrastructure of our internet in this country
No
going
way.
to be able to keep up with this?
You
They
have
may
peop-
have a freaking Ferrari pushing it our way, but if the street's no wider than an alley, it ain't getting to us any sooner.
Right.
I read did you read about how much internet you need?
a lot.
Gotta be at
No,
least
I've
gigabit internet.
seen a lot of different, but it's like 15
What I saw was
megabits.
25 megabits is what I
Yeah.
saw.
25
Yeah.
megs?
25 meg download capacity.
There's
for
no
this game.
way.
There's no fucking way.
So
So
their
I'm
problem.
I'm throwing rocks at the moon here. These right boys
No.
will never
So
fly. These
this-
right boys will never fly.
This
And-
is the
and that's-
equivalent of companies lying about releasing I was a Watch Dogs with 8K graphics and then releasing it at 720p. It's the equivalent of what they're doing. Yeah, it'll launch at 4K 60 frames per second, but you're gonna need god internet speed. Yeah, you can use 25 megs per second. That's probably for 480p download. They're trying to get people hyped up for this.
I saw their target was
Everyday marketing.
8K resolution, though, wasn't it? Google's
I was
target
getting there. I was getting there before
Okay.
apparently Google touched Spectator's Fortnite. You okay there, buddy? You sound a little upset.
Show me where they touched.
Just
you
try
on
to
that.
balance it out. Is all I'm trying to do, man.
Balance. You're fucking putting holes in the ship,
He's
dude.
hot.
Yeah, but you're
It's
jerking
hot.
it off.
I'm not jerking it up. I am
just kidding.
acknowledging their. Okay, so there is something to be said about how Steve Jobs stood on that stage and spoke about the moon, and now look where Apple is right now. I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow, but they are setting the ground for what I anticipate to be gaming in the future, and they are taking the first step. They have the power to do so. Is it going to fall on their face? It might happen. But the thing is they're putting the network in place. They are showing and flexing, and they are trying to get this off the ground. And I am happy for that reason.
Yep.
I am not going to future plans to go to 8K. Nope. That ain't gonna happen.
It's crazy.
That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen at all. Because number one, you can't see shit at 4K anyway. Nobody sees 4K. Sure, it's crisp and clean, but you're not gonna see every goddamn pixel. Whatever. So there,
Well,
jerking off.
and the other thing is they're doing something Amazon's not doing. They're showing
Yes.
Amazon's talking.
And that's the whole point here is they are flexing, they're showing what they can do, and they have, out of all the companies in the world, they're one of the few that has the chance and possibility to do this. And I'm all for it, because this is an advancement for gamers everywhere.
And
I think that
That's what it
how many
is.
servers they're going to need to power that much computing processing power.
They have them.
If you're
They do have them.
if you're interested in looking at the specs, there's a lot of, they're talking about multi-processor, multi-GPUs, a lot of stuff. So
10.7 teraflops.
which is more than the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X combined.
One X is what, 8.1 teraflops?
No, it's like 6, 7.
No, it's 4 something. Xbox One is 4.
X?
Yeah, the One X is like 4.6 or something. Yeah.
No, the PS4 is the 4.7, and then
Okay.
is like the 4, and then the Xbox One is like the 6.
It's
So,
like-
and this is just barely bigger than both of those combined.
And Pro is 4.2.
Yeah. So the back on track here. So they're flexing their muscles when it comes to GPU and CPU and all that stuff. They're everything that they have is server based equipment, which is high end. And I'm not going to get into the fancy numbers. They're going AMD, which is kind of odd because a lot of the Intel's in there.
But that's price.
Yeah, but it should be interesting to see how that goes. Doom and Assassin's Creed Odyssey were two of the biggest ones shown on stage. Doom is a pretty fast-paced first-person shooter. Requires some demanding software and hardware things there. So if they can do that flawlessly, it's impressive. But again,
Is
you're
this
talking
Sega
about
Genesis version or the new one?
yeah, right.
The other thing that was
So-
cool about it was they were showing NBA 2K19, and it was a live stream, and the dude was live streaming, and somebody in the chat clicked play now, and they were queued as the second player to play against the streamer.
cool.
So when we talk about what it could do for
Yeah,
the
you're a couple
streaming
nodes
community,
ahead of me, bud.
Oh, sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. So full cross-platform. Now that does not mean you can play with the consoles, because that actually would be kind of, I don't know, that'd kind of go against their image. Full cross-platform means if you want to save on this device, you can move it over to this device and you can play it there. None of this, if you're on mobile, you can only play with other mobile people. If you're on, it's that cross-platform, not necessarily Sony and Microsoft, but between platforms that
You
you're
want to play
playing
with
on.
TV folks? You can play with TV folks.
Yeah.
Computer
Cross
folks.
platform.
They're meaning Google platforms, or they're meaning all platforms.
So if the game has saves on, say you're playing it on your PC, you can pick up your phone and start playing it on phone. You don't have to play a different version of the game because it's on a different device. You can have the same. Everything is across the board there. And then there was some really cool things because it's interlaced with Google as well as YouTube. A lot of links are supported. So you can say tweet out, join me at this moment, and it'll actually save a moment. If the devs design it, you can say like you're doing a speed run, or you're doing a really hard, I wish Scorpion was here. If you're doing like a platforming game, you can actually save at a certain spot, say that as a link, send it to somebody and say, try to beat my score. And it starts right where they are, same inventory, same health, same positioning on the screen. I mean, that's really cool. And because of the way the network works, it opens up some doors for some possibilities there.
Yeah, beat this level for me. And I'll tweet the link to the game I'm playing.
Oh no, wait, it's on your character?
It's your everything, isn't it?
It's everything. It takes all of your game data and then replicates it exactly where you are, and then they can play from there on. But it's them playing their game, but with the same settings and the same environment, everything like that.
Yeah. They're not playing your character. They're playing
Yeah. And then the last thing, which Sectator actually jumped into, which was pretty cool, is called crowd play. Crowd play is basically if it's a multiplayer game that you can play with other people, you can actually queue up. And he said, like, say you're watching a streamer play it and you want to jump in on that game, say you're playing a sports game or something that you could actually team up with other people, you can click play with me if they allow it, and then it'll put them in a queue, and you can actually join them in the game, which is pretty neat. Another thing that they had, which was that I thought was really cool, was that when they talk to the dev side of this, because that's what GDC is all about, they have a lot of support for them, and they're partnering up with a lot of different companies there. They cover they use the biggest game engines that are currently out there, the biggest graphics engines that are currently out there, and they're really trying to get in. And then they're also creating their own Stadia games and entertainment company. They're creating first-party games on their own. They're bringing in some pretty noticeable characters, as well as big companies and little companies and developers, and it's going to be interesting. So I am hopeful about it because I like to see that step technologically. I don't know if this will actually be as successful as they're painting it, but that's what all these keynotes are about. They're always about up there. We're amazing. This is stupendous, and it's going to work first out of the box, and it never does. So there is merit to what they're doing, but I also do see the problem with the infrastructure of the internet, and I don't see that keeping up with it. So it's going to be a while before this is actually as they paint it, if it ever does get there. But I have high hopes for the technology. I hope it does well. So launching 2019, that is this year. There's going to be more information this summer, probably during E3, which will be more gamer-centric as opposed to dev-centric. And the countries that they're saying they're releasing in, US, Canada, UK, and other parts of Europe. There has not been a price. There's a lot of speculation about it. It's probably going to be a subscription-based plan. How you handle that there. Gaming, I don't know. You've seen Xbox do their Game Pass stuff. You've seen, PlayStation's been doing it for a while. It's all up in the air. That's going to be speculation until they announce it. So anyway, that's Stadia.
Question for I'm going to bounce this to Spectator because you're pretty savvy on the business end of things. Do you think that Google will give a boon of some sort to their devices versus other devices? So if you don't play this on an iPhone or an iPad versus a Pixel,
They'll
are they
probably
going to like?
if this is the first company doing this, so I don't feel like it would make sense for them to. But what I do see them doing would be what Amazon does with Twitch and do like loot boxes. Hey, you're playing this on a Google device, take a free cosmetic. You're doing this on this, take this, or maybe offer a discount to your subscription because
I
it's
would
on a Google
say
device.
sign up with a Pixel. You get X amount of months of Stadia
Samsung
free.
with their content with Fortnite stuff. You can get Samsung the new S10. You get a skin in Fortnite if you buy an S10.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure there's going to be something that if you buy the new Google Pixel or you buy the new Chromebook, get 10,000 in-game bucks for this game or something.
But being that Amazon's targeting 2020 launch or late 2019, early 2020, and Google is targeting this year, it doesn't make sense for them to limit because it's going to put them at a disadvantage the moment the next system launches, whatever it is. And now Snapchat's getting into the thing now. I don't know if you guys read that article. Snapchat's coming out with a cloud-based gaming system too. So
Really?
Where did that come from?
it was announced on their Twitter page like an hour and 45 minutes ago.
Wow. Breaking news.
I didn't even know it was still a thing.
What's the gaming range for that?
I have no idea. Thoughts?
Just a bunch of little mobile games.
Played Snake.
It's called laser student.
The only thing that I feel is gonna deter people from this is two things, I guess. One, it's the only streaming capabilities have been rumored to be just through YouTube. So you're not going to get your ninjas, you're not going to get your shrouds, you're not going to get the people that create streaming content through Twitch because they're only offering that streaming service through YouTube. So I don't know if they have plans on later on integrating it, but YouTube isn't necessarily a huge streaming market. The second thing would be with the lack of transparency on YouTube content creators, non-monetization, randomly targeting, people getting money stripped away, losing hundreds of millions of dollars in a couple of months for no reason, and then when they appeal it, they don't get that transparent answer of you did this wrong. That is going to be a hindrance to content creators as well. So I think this needs to be a twofold approach. I like the idea, like Poop said. I think we've been waiting for a company to go fully cloud-based. Xbox has been trying it. Amazon's rumored to do it. Snapchat apparently too. I think Google has the infrastructure to do it properly. I'm just nervous about those content creators and being able to capture them when Ninja just had a video that got 26 million views flagged, hearing $0 on it because of blood, and all he was doing is playing Fortnite, the same thing he's been playing for a year and a half. So that's kind of my animosity a little bit towards Google with that. But if they can clear all that stuff up a little bit, I think it's great.
I don't see the Google platform going for the streamer category. I see them going for I'm watching Ninja on YouTube. I'm a 10-year-old kid at home. I'm watching Ninja on YouTube. Then an ad pops up for Assassin's Creed. And then I say, that looks cool. I want to play it. And then I can play it right then.
Yeah, that's where they're going.
Because Ninja, we'll take him for an example. Millions and millions of views on YouTube every day.
Mm-hmm.
That's millions of people seeing that ad for that game and them getting the impulse of wanting to play that game. And I see that more. Google's not going to care if Shroud goes on and plays on YouTube.
I was just shooting those names out. I think the content creators is what, so the goal of all of this is to eliminate hardware, to not need to build a $2,500 computer to create content, to not have to go out and buy a $600 system every 4 years. The goal is to eliminate hardware. And I think the hardware piece has a lot to do with the convenience it brings to the consumer. So right now, for my $1,500 computer, I can do whatever the F I want within reason and make content, stream on whatever platform I want. But if you're saying, I want you to give up that computer in 5 years and buy our Google system, but you can only stream on YouTube and you can only create content to YouTube because that's the limitations of our system, it's a little bit of a harder pill to swallow. That was kind of my point behind that metaphor or painting that picture a little bit. So.
Right.
All right, Spectator, what do you got for us tonight?
Yeah, I've been kind of pushing a couple things in there as we
just add something before we go into that.
Yeah.
I hate that name. I hate Stadia as a name for this device.
It's not a good name.
It's a terrible name.
They could have come up with a much better name than Stadia.
They could have stuck with the
Like I
candy
got-
theme.
Yeah, well, yeah. I feel like last week I got Stadia, and now I got to go to my doc and see if there's something.
I heard you had Stadia.
And
Have
this
you tried
video,
Stadia?
this video
say?
just got demonetized on YouTube. So I've been kind of putting in some of the things I wanted to talk about while we were on topic to kind of keep things wholesome. So the Apex 25 million players thing, the Anthem fall off, we kind of touched on that a little bit. Division 2 launch. They sold the big thing with this is Division 2 is Division 2. It's Ubisoft. It's a great game. It's Tom Clancy. Those games will always sell well. Interesting thing though, kind of doubling back on the digital media. Division 2 has only sold 20% of the hard copies that Division 1 sold, even though it's estimated to have sold quite a bit more units total. So Xbox was right. People do prefer digital media, even if it is 6 years late. There have been a lot of bugs that people are getting blamed for their systems for. So audio issues, download issues. I think the issue is, in general, originally they were having you have to download the Epic launcher to download Division 2 through Ubisoft. And I think they rerouted it because what it ended up doing was you were downloading the Epic launcher to prompt you to download the Ubisoft game launcher to prompt you to download Division 2 exe file to prompt you to download Division 2. So all of that crap going on created a lot of bugs in the system. Games weren't getting higher than 460p resolution. Games weren't having audio file. I still don't have audio on my game file. But overall, it has been, people that can play have been talking a lot about how good the game is, how fun it is, how much better it is to level up, and some of the stuff they're bringing to the table. So Ubisoft, another buggy launch, but seems like they put out another solid piece for the time being. Halo Master Chief officially launched on the PC, Master Chief's Collection. I think this was a really big move because Halo Master Chief was such a failure on the Xbox launch. You couldn't, you literally could not play it for 3 months. So I think this was a really good piece for them to put it out on the computer, and it gets back to the roots. Halo 1 originally started off on the computer, and then it was ported onto the Xbox original. So, and I think that was the last time it was ever launched on a computer, was Halo 1.
Halo 2 had a PC version.
Did it have a PC version too? Okay. So it's cool to see them get back to the roots a little bit. And then the last little bit I had, because we kind of went in detail on a lot of the other stuff, Resident Evil was greenlit for a series on Netflix.
Ooh.
So what do you think that looks like? Do you think they're gonna? The story's over, right? The last movie, the story ended. So is it gonna be spin-offs?
Have you watched those movies? Are you the one that watched them? Because I saw on Rotten Tomatoes that one person watched those movies, and I guess
We found the guy.
yeah,
No.
right there. Yeah,
So-
terrible.
I think Netflix has a lot more freedom than they would in cinema. When Resident Evil was coming out, they were still like, what can we get away with? What can we not get away with? What can we do? And those are made to be bloody, gory, like scary, the Momo challenge type games. So you want to make sure that, I think Netflix can capture that essence of fear and do a very good job with it. It's interesting to see. We've been talking a lot about what are they going to do to respond, and seeing them fire back with Resident Evil. It has a cult following. People line up forever to dress up as some of the most amazing scary villains in the game. I think that was a really good move for them. So it'll be interesting to see what they
Zombie
do.
1 or Zombie 2.
That's all I had.
Okay. On Nintendo news, they Nintendo had a indie stream today that they talked about some stuff. They've got Crypto Necrodancer coming. There's I think a Zelda part of that. Characters in that. Crypto Necrodancer. Cuphead's coming to the Switch, and the Xbox Live service is going to be there for Cuphead. I'm not certain what that's going to mean, what it's going to entail. Can you play with Xbox people, or do you just like to move your saves over? Yeah, not sure about the crossplay part of it.
From what I was trying to search real quick, I believe it's kind of similar to what we were talking about with SCADA or Scadia. It was you could play on the Xbox and then shut the game down and pick it right back up on the Switch is most likely from what I've been reading.
I wonder if PlayStation will hop onto that.
Doubt it.
PlayStation's still sporting. I mean, we haven't heard anything from Xbox about their next console, quote unquote, but PlayStation's already putting out PlayStation 5. I mean, it's PlayStation's. I'm not worried about them. They're back there.
No.
They're back there.
Sony's
So-
desperately saying, "Please buy our hardware," and everyone else is like, "We're going cloud-based." They're like, "No, hardware's
Mhm.
good."
Oh, hardware's the way to go.
Actually, that reminds me. Let me find. There was an email actually from Phil Spencer to
Oh,
his
right.
employees about after watching Stadia. Continue. I'll find it and then I'll read it. It's actually really
So
good.
the thing about PlayStation is what they've always done is have a cheaper console, right?
Yes.
So they've hit the target audience of being, I mean, not Nintendo target like 3DS, but like the next like actual console tier. So PlayStation sells more consoles. They have more, people like playing it because it's cheaper. They put that price point in for people to play.
They learned a
Go-
lesson after the PS3. It was like $700 launch
Yeah. Google right now is going to fuck them hard.
with
Yep.
no lube.
No, Google's going to tear them apart. They've
By
got to be
sans
scared
lube.
right now.
Bite the pillow, they're going in dry.
Oh man, they've got to be scared as hell right now because that was their thing, right? Like we've got more people than anybody, and we get to tout that because we have the cheapest console. Now you're going to have a service that people can pay $20, $30, I don't know, $50 a month for to get all these games.
You don't have a console. Yep, it's all taken care of.
Yeah, it's done.
I think what
The barrier for entry is your internet.
I think what Sony did, and I'm laughing at this. They were probably like, okay, we're gonna sneak an announcement in. We know that they're developing cloud-based games and software. It's probably 2.5 years out. Let's announce the PS5. Let's build hype, and then they announce, and everyone else is like, yeah, we're going cloud-based. They're like, crap,
Gosh.
Yep.
Back to the
waited too long.
Yep. So I found the email if you guys are interested in it. It says, we just wrapped up watching the Google announcement of Stadia as team here at GDC. Their announcement is validation of the path we embarked on 2 years ago. I guarantee you Xbox has been looking at this really hard. Today, we saw a big tech competitor enter the gaming market and frame the necessary ingredients for success as content, community, and cloud. There were no big surprises in their announcement, although I was impressed by their leveraging of YouTube, the use of Google Assistant, and the new Wi-Fi controller. But I want to get back to us. There has been really good work to get us to the position where we are poised to compete for 2 billion gamers across the planet. 2 billion game. That blows my mind, dude. Google went big today, and we have a couple of months until E3 when we will go big. We have to stay agile and continue to build with our customer at the center. We have the content, community, cloud team, and strategy. And as I've been saying for a while, it's all about execution. This is even more true today. Energizing times, Phil. That email pumps me up.
Yep.
That email gets me excited.
The game is afoot. This is gonna be awesome.
But he
Yep.
casually was like, "Welcome to my way of thinking, Google. I've been trying to do this
Yes.
for 8 years.
Yes.
Just
Yeah,
look
Silverlight, right?
look forward to our Bing-based gaming cloud system." No, I'm just kidding.
Bing blows. But yes,
No.
that gets me excited. I'm excited to be a gamer because this summer is going to be amazing. The next 2 years are going to be incredible. Let's do this.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. All right, great time tonight, guys. Good job, everyone. Where can we find you, Sectator?
Yeah, everything Sectator Gaming, Twitter, Mixer, doesn't matter. You can find me there. And here every other week on Wednesdays doing the podcast.
Lovely. Poop Shizzle.
You can find me on Mixer, /PoopShizzle. You can also find me on Twitter @PoopShizzle. And I have been playing a shitload of factory games. I've been having a ball. I've been playing Destiny or Division, any of that bullshit. I play these off the beaten path games. And I'm going to be streaming a lot more coming up this next couple weekends. I'd like to see you guys hop in there. Love to see you.
Up to as well. King Dawes.
Twitch, Twitter, Discord @KingDawes1.
Don't you have something interesting going on coming out this weekend with Solid Scorpion?
Oh yeah, that's
Yes.
right. Hey, so as you guys are well aware, Solid and I have been kind of delving into the Pokemon realm. We've been kind of dipping into the driver's seat, and what we came up with is a cage lock. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the term. Basically, it's a randomizer, and you go in and you play through the game. All the Pokemon are random. All the move sets are random. And at the end, after every gym battle, you fight each other. You load each other's whichever Pokemon you want to choose. You load it into an online program that allows you to fight each other. And the loser of that match loses their Pokemon. So it's a win or lose your Pokemon battle. Also, all the battles in the game. If your Pokemon dies in the game, they are gone. You have to release them into your PC. Cannot use them again. So we have recorded 2 episodes so far. We'll be having another one this weekend. We have already done our first cage match. Spoiler alert, solid one. And out on their YouTube channel. Check that out. Spawn Camp Council. It's a very fun time.
Cool. Excited to have new content. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching and listening. I appreciate everyone stopping by. That concludes our cast tonight. Check us out in 2 weeks for our next episode of Metagame. Until then, remember, this is how liberty dies, with thunderous applause.